Welcome back to our production masterclass. This is lesson 11 of part 1. And here, this is where we begin to dive into the basics of FL Studio. So this is our FL Studio tutorials basic. This is our first focus will be on creating a project and then getting familiar with the FL Studio interface. So on our desktop, on our desktop, we locate the FL Studio logo here, and so we click on it. Unlike Pro Tools, the good thing is that unlike Pro Tools, FL Studio does not take much to launch open. So once we launch open, this is how it looks like. So you could go to files. This is if you want to open a new project. Here you can open a previous project. Okay, this is our serve. This is our servers. This is the save new version. This is where you can import audio or MIDI files. Sorry. This is where you can export your work. So you can export it in a web format, or MP3, or FLAC, or MIDI file. So now this is where you see these are the recent projects that we have been doing so far. Now this is the file. So this is the edit now, where you can cut or you can copy. Now if there was work like undo, look at undo. Okay, so this is where we can undo, but it's not highlighted because there is nothing done so far. This is where we can add plugins, our patcher. This is where you have a patcher, audio clips, automation clips. We will go to that later. But this is where we have patterns. We explain patterns later in our subsequent classes. This is the view. So this is where you select all the view panels, windows that you can use. Now this is where the options is. Options. Let's check the audio settings. So for the audio settings, this is where you can select your interface. This is where you can select the sample rate. Okay, and you can, so this is the MIDI setting as well. This is the general settings. Everything here is straightforward. It's just straightforward. Okay, so this is where you have tools. This is where we have the help. This is the master volume, but I would advise you not to touch the master volume. The master volume there is supposed to always be there. Supposed to always be where it is there. So we will leave it as it is. The next thing we can do is this is where we can switch from pattern to song mode, from pattern mode to song mode, where we can explain later. This is your play. This is stop. This is to arm for recording. This display shows the tempo. Okay, this is where you on or off the metronome. Here, this is where you check. You on the wait for input to start, or you can off it. This is where you can switch your typing keyboard to a piano keyboard. Okay, so this is where you can scroll to the marker, another marker. We can do automation. You can do automation controllers here. You can automate controllers here. This is where you can on or off loop recording. Okay, this is your time. This is your time meter. This is where we have our monitor here. Again, this is where you have the pattern that we had here. This is where you can select a different pattern. This is the first pattern. You can add another one. This is where you have the playlist window. This is the piano roll window, where you can switch on or off the piano roll window. This is where you have the channel rack. This is where you can on or off the channel rack. This is where you have the mixer. Okay, you can switch on or off the mixer window. Okay, this is where you have the tempo tap button where you can tap the tempo. Okay, as you can see, this is 117 now. From what we can do 86. Okay, 84. So look at it. It has registered here. In our next class, we are going to focus on the channel rack here. Yes, we are going to focus on how to work on the channel rack.